All right, what is up? We're back. Little Friday review going into the weekend. I don't think I'm gonna make. I'll think about it. I might make a weekly review this week. I don't think I already went over a lot of stuff in yesterday's video, and um, I'm gonna do one on Sunday night and more like a future projection once futures open. Futures open 6 on Sunday, so I'll probably make a video around 9 or 10 and go over what futures have been doing and my projections. But this is a little Friday recap, what happened from here forward. And yeah, we're going to just get straight fucking into it. So, overnight, futures consolidated big time. I know some people that went long here, and this was a pretty good trade. I was thinking about it myself, but we didn't end up doing that. And as you can see, we consolidated. I drew this range in and sent it this morning out. And this is where I was looking for ultimately a breakdown or a break up. I thought the breakdown was more likely. Honestly, I was, although I didn't take this play, I was considering getting long right here. This was like opening candle. Nice long lower wick, potential pivot upwards here. Long lower wick testing the lower edge of the range. Nice pivot here too. Boom, boom, boom. I was low-key expecting this to kind of go up. I didn't take it. It was really early, and we didn't really know what was going on with the Trump-China thing, which happened here, which I'll go into. Honestly, this is probably the craziest day I've ever traded in the last, like, fuck, I don't even know. It was just crazy what happened. This chart looks like the amount of price. These are 10-minute candles, keep in mind. The amount of price action that was happening in these candles was ridiculous. And yeah, so we'll go into that. So we traded downwards. I got short here on SPY, and overall today I did get stopped out of 2 trades, which sucks. It sucks that happened, but at the end of the day, it is what it is, and we'll come back next week. I got into some good trades as well to position myself for next week, so we'll see how that works out. We got short around here with SPY, and this was going well, and then also we got short here. I'll explain what happened. So right here we were short. We were making money. This pivot formed. Boom, boom, boom. This pivot. I'm gonna probably make a video on pivots. We'll see. But basically, uh, this is like the ultimate pivot. The doji. This is lower, and then these two are above it. Ultimate pivot. I did not think this was gonna print like this, but it did. I don't know. I don't remember what the catalyst was. Honestly, I just think it's just we. Oh, no, 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 no. This was Trump announced that the phase one trade deal is still intact. This is at 2 p.m., right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. He announces the phase one trade deal is still intact. We pump. Didn't think he was going to do that. I kind of thought he would the interview would kind of botch the market, which it did here. We'll go over that. Um, oh, and keep in mind the anchored VWAP, which we were talking about before as well, was holding beautifully through this whole thing. Um, so yeah, also the supply zone we were trading in for a lot of the late morning, early afternoon. So this pumps the market up. I'm still holding this trade. I'm still holding it. The idea was around here, but I hadn't taken too much of a hit yet. The option I think I had a June one. It wasn't that bad. I re-entered here. I'm not gonna lie, I entered before the pivot formed. I entered another short here and got stopped out right here, right as we crossed this line. Stopped out at both. Took a minimal loss. Obviously, then Trump started talking about leaving the WHO, all this stuff, and then he started going off, and we sold all the way down here in big red candles. I was like, crap. Like these are both well worth a lot of money. And then for about a minute we were down here, and then about after that we printed all the way up here. And if you look at the volume on this candle, it is the highest on the frickin'. There is like nothing that even comes close to it except for the sell-offs in April and May. So yeah, this was a ridiculous candle to watch. I was like, to be honest, I don't know if I would have sold out here. I might not have sold out of these trades here. So I can only say that is, I guess I'm thankful I got it here and I didn't get out here. It sucks that we lost some profit there. Still only playing with my profits from earlier in the week, so it's not that big of a hit on my account at the end of the day. But it just obviously hate to see it, but it is what it is. You live and you learn, move on. So then we trade up here. This shooting star forms. At this point, I was pretty much done with trading for the day. I was like, all right, it's freaking 3 o'clock now. I'm done with this crap. Like the volatility was crazy. Trying to day trade and swing trade this was ridiculous. But we did get into some semis long. I got long on AMD down here. Keep in mind when the market did drop here, semis and tech overall, and the entire market didn't get hit too hard. Like, obviously, this was a freaking huge move on S&P and SPY and NASDAQ, but the overall market wasn't moving too terribly. Like, semis especially, I know, weren't printing that horribly. Like, we didn't have 3 red candles. This is essentially 3 red candles. This, and then this. That's what it looked like when I was watching it live. And then this happened, which was like, wow. Obviously, the VWAP held. So let's go to talk about the future. So we get up here, the 200-day moving average on the 10-minute time frame is holding as pretty good support, and then we rally at the end of the day. No shock there. Once we got up here, I kind of figured we were going to rally. I already had some longs, but I wasn't about to take any crazy trades to the weekend. I'd like to point out, though, that we have now entered this supply zone. We have just entered it. Futures just entered it. This was the final candle. Yeah, this was the final candle on New York. Futures rose up. Now we have, zoom out. So we have right here, look, bottom of the range, top of the range. We had this like look above and we dropped down, and then we did like this look below thing, and now we're back up. So I'm pretty confused as to what we were doing here, but this is kind of crazy. We kind of blurred out this zone because this zone's been exhausted, but it's nice to still have. So yeah, right now the thing I want to take away from this is luck. I don't know if it's going to show up right here. It does show up right here. Good. Look at this. We could have we were on track to form a very powerful pivot on the 1 day on the S&P and the SPY and NASDAQ, but it didn't happen. In fact, we formed a very nice hammer candle here, and I understand a hammer candle at the top of a trend can be bullish. We do have these long lower wicks here, this lower wick here, this here. This one not as much, but these two lower wicks, they show the sentiment of the market. First of all, sell in May is done. May posted 6% gains through the month. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Sell in May is over. Now we're on to June too. These lower wicks symbolize more than top of trend hammer candles. This shows that we got negative news and the market still shook it off. That happens in bull markets. Bull markets can shake off negative news. Bear markets can't shake off negative news. Bear markets ride negative news down. Just think about that. That's pretty powerful stuff right there. VWAP held. Another VWAP here. I'm gonna make more of a video on Sunday highlighting my futures predictions, but I'm thinking we have a good chance to run next week and break this. I really do think we could run next week. I have some small calls for next week. I don't have any shorts for next week. Not that we can just, we might do another look above and fail, and China could get out of hand, and we're gonna talk more about that in a second. I just want to quickly go over NASDAQ. Oh, this was open the whole time. It's not too much of a distraction, I don't think. NASDAQ also recovered, but NASDAQ's recovered above this peak. It hasn't hit these highs yet over here. But now NASDAQ is again into the supply zone from the COVID drop. But so yeah, NASDAQ is also really rallying. You can see this price action was ridiculous. I know a lot of great traders that took L's on these today. I'm not calling myself a great trader or a phenomenal trader by any means, but I know some great traders that took L's on this. This was crazy playing this. Watching this happen was absolutely crazy. I was like, wow, I cannot believe this is happening. This is like the price action you expect to see in an entire day, which is what I was talking about in one of my chats. And we saw it in 10 minutes. It was ridiculous. So, like, look at this drop look at the price action in this day compared to just this candle. It's crazy, and the volume was crazy too, supports it. And so yeah, now I want to talk about some macro. So first of all, this is just today's thing. We saw tech again, tech back up. I'm not saying tech is going to become a lagger, which is what we were talking about before, but it could. But this showed tech was good today, which I'm going to start bringing these Schwab graphs into every daily review because they're very helpful. But yeah, let's just go straight to the monthly report, and we could see that the month of April was up about 6%. If I remember looking at, there was another chart I saw. April and overall, I mean not April, May. May was up 6%. Tech led all this month. Tech led today. Tech has been lagging the last couple of days, but tech is back potentially after today. I still think tech as a sector is very strong, and I don't see it falling apart anytime soon. Going forward, tech, biotech, all this stuff all these sectors that look to the future to make a better tomorrow are at the end of the day what's going to be what I want to invest in. The stuff that's going to have an impact in 100 years from now. Who knows where healthcare goes and financials and banks, and then who knows where any of this stuff goes. But tech, as we look to the future, this is the sector I want to be in. So as you can see, tech also led this month. Materials was pretty good too, but I focus on tech mainly. So this is always nice to see my sector leading. This is I don't want to spend too much time on this, but this beta is basically just going with volatility, and as you can see, the volatility has dropped below. This was the average from before the drop, and obviously during the crash we were really up here, and we were swinging around. Now we're back down here, so volatility's dropped a bit. The VIX, as you can see, has been dropping too. It's still in the 20s, very high. I understand this lower volatility doesn't coincide with this ridiculous price action, but Trump's press conference had us on a bit of a roller coaster. So yeah, we're here now. So this is also, Trump was talking about the phase one trade agreement, and I just thought this would be a cool graph to pull up. This is the first quarter or Q1 20 estimate. Well, they only have only have Q1 and Q3. I don't know about Q2 on here, but yeah, we don't look to be too good on keeping up with this agreement right now. The China and the U.S. don't seem too good on this agreement, so I don't know how it's going to help with the future of the trade deal, but I just thought this would be important to realize that we're not actually like on pace to keep track with the trade deal, the exports needed. So, and this is going to go into our final little topic here, and that is, what's your biggest concern? I saw this graph last month too. I wish I had it still. I don't know where it is. It's disappeared. If I was making videos then, I would definitely have brought this up. But this happens to show. Oh, I think yeah. We'll zoom out. What the hell? All right. So yeah, here we this actually shows the other previous months too. Or I mean, I saw this in the beginning of May 15th, middle of May, I guess. And the second wave of COVID and the geopolitical tensions. I remember talking this with people. And this was back when the second wave of COVID talks were like big and the geopolitical tension talks were like not that big. And as you can see, these haven't changed that much. Worth noting that the U.S. election, this wasn't even on the chart in May, if I remember correctly. Now it's actually on there, so it's just interesting to see how that's playing. And a lot of these people are becoming less worried with these things, and this is starting to consume people, the geopolitical tensions with China. Obviously, the second wave of COVID is still a major pressing issue, and as we open up, we do see I wish I had the graphs on hand, but I do not. We see like Texas and other states in the south that have opened up more than other states, that they're seeing a very big increase in cases. This is just something to be aware of. If this stuff starts really hitting the news, the mainstream media is going to have a feast with any potential drama relating to this, and that could really shake investors and give them cold feet. But I think for now, going forward, if we can kind of manage the China situation and the COVID cases, this kind of gets delayed, I don't think it's too off to think the market could really pump for a little bit. And don't get me wrong, by July, late June, this could be a completely different story. This second wave of COVID concern could really start playing a huge factor into the markets. The China tensions, who knows what's going to happen with that, honestly. They could resolve some stuff. I would bet that the COVID cases, this is way more likely to happen, in my opinion, the second wave or continuation of the first wave or more COVID than this China stuff. The China stuff could get resolved. It could. The COVID stuff, like this stuff, it's not getting resolved. You can't just like sweet talk your way out of this. So it's just important to realize that. Again, we'll go over more on Sunday regarding the futures. I am kind of bullish at the moment. Going into today, I was kind of neutral. I was kind of in between, like, okay, we're kind of bullish, but now we've really traded above these key areas of support, and we've shaken off bad news. A trade of bull market, shaking off bad news. So always important stuff to remember. Trade safe, and I'll see you guys next time. Remember, join the Discord if you got any questions. DM on Twitter, comment, whatever. If you got any questions, if you want to talk about these charts, go over with whatever. But yeah, catch you later.